Of course, I am sad that Thomas Massie lost his reelection. This was the most expensive primary race that we have ever seen. This was historical. Not only was America watching, but the world was watching. And it was certainly unfortunate for him to lose. But I stand by everything that I did in this race. I announced that I was for my president, Donald J. Trump, and also I was going to stand by my friend Thomas Massie. And I think it's okay to do both. You don't have to be a rubber stamp for the president to support him and to align with him and also follow his agenda. Sometimes it's staff from the White House who are directing pieces of the agenda. President Trump gives the broad outline of what he wants to accomplish, and then we get staff from the White House that come to the Hill and try to tell us how to legislate that or what to accept, and it's unacceptable. And the difference between that when we negotiate the terms and Massie's few votes against the president ultimately is when there aren't enough votes to pass a bill, we take it back and we negotiate to make it better. And if Massie is the only one who's voting against the bill and it still passes, well, the agenda still gets through and he can still claim the things that he's against, which he isn't wrong. And we solve that by having single subject legislation, by the way. I had that fight with Speaker McCarthy. But with Massie, of course, I am so sad to see his loss. And also, I'm happy to know he still has several months left in the 119th Congress. He will still be my Second Amendment co-chair, and we will still serve alongside each other, and we will continue to improve legislation for the president's agenda.
Assuming Johnson doesn't get the word to try to knock him off any committees. We'll have to see how the president acts on this. But Lauren, what is the message here? Fortunately for you, in Colorado, you have kind of an open primary. Kind of, right? You can be independent or unaffiliated,
right, you were just
and
talking
pick
about that
one
with
of the
Manchin,
two-party
yes.
primaries. Right. So you got a little bit. You got a little bit of a semi-open, which is kind of an oxymoron, but whatever, we'll take it. It's better than if you only had to worry about the extreme aspects of your party. Because do you think you can survive if the president gives you the thumbs down?
Well, first of all, my election and my primary is settled. It is certified. There is no time for a write-in candidate. And so with the, when the president called for my for a primary opponent against me, that can't happen. And I'm going to face a Democrat in the general election. My Democrat opponent does not have a primary opponent either. So it is the two of us head-to-head for the rest of this cycle. But in Colorado, we do have factions of our Republican Party who want to close our primary for Republicans only. And I would be in favor of that, just like Kentucky has, if it were for both parties. But our Republican Party is wanting to close it for only Republicans, while Democrats are still able to message to unaffiliated voters. And that's just unacceptable. You cannot have an entire party messaging to the majority of voters in Colorado while we are alienating ourselves in basically just a chamber where we are talking to one another and not reaching anyone. And so in Colorado, we do have these semi-open, and I guess this election kind of allowed me to see the benefit of that, because with unaffiliated voters, many of them do lean one way or the other, but they aren't so close-minded and just such purists that they have to vote one way or the other. And I see myself as that in Congress often. There are many bills that I have voted against that the president has supported. Even today, the housing bill that came to the floor, this was Senator Warren's bill. We had a better bill from the House. Yes, there were adjustments made, but there was still not a clear language for anti-central bank digital currency systems for the future, and I voted against that. I think I was one of 11 votes that voted against that. And so you still have that, and I want there to be open thought, open discussion. And in Thomas Massie's race with this closed primary, the president certainly deserves his victory because he clearly won with his message to the Republican voters in that district.
Lauren, going forward, when you look at the state of play heading into the midterms, maybe now Cuba, the regime. You know, you're going to have to own those decisions when the ballots come back around. And what do you make of not focusing on the domestic battles that a lot of MAGA voters signed up for? That was the war they thought they were going to be fighting, was a policy battle about fixing the affordability crisis at home that has really real implications in your home state and specifically in your district. What do you make of that?
Yes, so these foreign issues that we are facing are not my top priority. I understand that the president is tackling them hard. I praised him for his work in Venezuela. I've praised him for the initial strikes in Iran. And it's really tough to defend all the aspects of this war with Iran currently, especially when we see the Secretary of War doing campaign events in Kentucky, of all places, in the middle of a war. That's really difficult to grasp. But also, I am listening to my voters, and at this time, the president is on par with what many of them are wanting. Not all of them. Many have reached out as well, saying, you know, that they want to end this. But the domestic issues are priority. They're certainly my priority. That's why I am focused on water projects in my district. I'm focused on even FEMA coming in for wildfire issues that we have had in Colorado, and I'm focusing on our agriculture district as well. In Colorado's 4th district, we are massively dominated by the ag industry, and these are my top issues. I serve on the Oversight Committee. Obviously, we have dealt with a lot of these Epstein files issues and a lot of other DOJ factions. And, you know, I was really hoping for justice, not necessarily retribution, but justice for the wrongs that were done. I was spied on by the Biden DOJ. Many of Americans were treated unfairly by Biden's DOJ. And I would much rather take care of the folks here at home, make things affordable, make groceries affordable, housing affordable, secure our borders, get our domestic energy supply secure and strong, then deal with everything else in the world. If America isn't strong, we can't support our allies. So we have got to start focusing on us first before we reach out to everyone else.
Understood. You sound like Donald Trump during the campaign. It's just once he got in, the agenda suddenly shifted. I wonder why. Lauren Boebert, thank you for making the case here. You're always welcome. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.